The Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has completed 4 years of rule in this May. In about another 7 months, the fate of his current government would be decided. To remain in power, this government has to ensure dominance in the upcoming elections in 5 states before they face the acid test of 2019 parliamentary elections. Prime Minister Modi is well aware of the ticking clock, and he keeps using every opportunity to garner support for his government. His prime target, the opposition.
जो वोट बैंक की राजनीति करते हैं, उनको कभी हिंदू मुस्लिम का खेल करने में मजा आती है, कभी अगड़े पिछड़े का खेल करने में मजा आती है, कभी ये जाति ये बिरादरी, वो जाति वो बिरादरी, कभी शहर कभी गांव, कभी अमीर कभी गरीब, कभी पुरुष कभी स्त्री, कभी बुजुर्ग कभी युवा। जहां मौका मिले टुकड़े करो, जहां मौका मिले दरार पैदा करो, जहां मौका मिले एक दूसरे के सामने कर दो, वो लड़ते रहेंगे और हम एक को गले लगा करके अपना चुनावी उल्लू सीधा कर देंगे। ये वोट बैंक की राजनीति का खेल चलता है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's direct attack on the opposition, even as the poll bugle played out for assembly elections in 5 states. And the parliamentary polls would be the next step. This comes nearly 4 months after the great show of united opposition at the swearing-in ceremony of H.D. Kumaraswamy in Karnataka. But since then, the anti-Modi Grand Alliance has hit one roadblock after another. First, it was BSP Supremo Mayawati who dumped Rahul Gandhi, accusing the Congress of arrogance and branding it casteist.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की गलतफहमी के साथ साथ उसका अहंकार भी अब सर चढ़कर बोलने लगा है कि वह अकेले अपने बलबूते पर ये बीजेपी को हराने का काम कर लेगी.
After Mayawati, it was Akhilesh Yadav who dumped the Congress, branding it an obstacle in the Great Alliance. The former UP Chief Minister has always been a big supporter of Rahul Gandhi, but his patience seems to have run out over seat sharing in Madhya Pradesh.
मध्य प्रदेश में भी समाजवादी पार्टी लड़ेगी और समाजवादी पार्टी का जिनसे गठबंधन था, गौड़वाना गणतंत्र पार्टी और बहुजन समाज पार्टी से जरूर बातचीत करेंगे, क्योंकि कांग्रेस ने बहुत इंतजार कराया. कब तक इंतजार करें?
As fissures started to appear in the great opposition alliance, the Prime Minister, while on the campaign trail in Rajasthan, ensured that his target audience was aware of the characters of the opposition as perceived by him.
हम सर्वजन हिताय सर्वजन सुखाय इस मूलभूत सिद्धांत को लेकर के एक नई राजनीति को समर्पित लोग हैं. एक तरफ वोट बैंक की राजनीति का खेल, दूसरी तरफ सबका साथ सबका विकास, इस नई राजनीति का दायित्व. दोनों में आसमान जमीन का अंतर होता है.
With 4 states going to elections next, Congress's move to stitch a grand alliance has suffered a major setback, but the real battle for the citadel of Delhi is still more than 6 months away.
विपक्ष के गठबंधन का सवाल है. मैं समझता हूं कि अभी जो मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़ या राजस्थान का चुनाव हो रहा है, ये राज्य का चुनाव है. जहां तक के पार्लियामेंट के चुनाव का सवाल है, हमको लगता है कि गठबंधन हमारा विपक्ष का मजबूत बनेगा.
The Prime Minister, however, believes that the fact that he and his party are different compared to the united opposition, this is the reason that the BJP and its disciplined approach will win elections for Team Modi.
देश और दुनिया के लिए मैं भले ही प्रधानमंत्री हूं, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए तो मैं एक कार्यकर्ता हूं. और एक कार्यकर्ता के नाते पार्टी जब भी जो भी जिम्मेवारी मुझे देती है, उसको जी जान से लग करके पूरा करने का मैं प्रयास करता हूं.
Bureau Report, India Today.
With oil prices in the capital hitting another high despite the recent tax cut, the spotlight is back on the Modi government. The question haunting them, what can be done to control the spiraling price hike in fuel and other dependent industries? Remember, price hike was one of the key pillars of Mr. Modi's campaign all the way back in 2014.
Despite the recent cut in diesel and petrol prices that the finance minister announced, fuel prices continue to soar. And there seems no relief in sight. With barely 6 months left before the next general elections, the skyrocketing price hikes on fuel continues to be one of the biggest challenges for the ruling Modi government. Because, as the Bharat Bandh of September proved, the Aam Aadmi's patience is running out and the anger on the street is evident. With petrol prices going back to 82 in Delhi, the government's recent move to cut taxes wouldn't do much to stabilize the current amount deficit. Swayed by the upcoming state elections and the looming general polls, the government is being buffeted by politics. Fuel prices have always been a bone of contention between the ruling and the opposition parties. Election after election, cheaper fuel is promised by the political parties to woo their vote banks and to garner votes. Prime Minister Modi's 2014 poll pitch had launched a brutal attack on surging prices under the then ruling UPA government. Now, over 4 years later, Prime Minister Modi has not much to say, as the rupee slides to its lowest point and fuel prices continue to burn a hole in the consumer's pocket. The RBI's refusal to revise interest rates and the paucity of employment across the country are rapidly becoming sore points for Prime Minister Modi's 2019 battle.
Farmers are the backbone of rural economy. In the past 4 years, the government has doled out sops to woo them and have sketched bright futures for them as well. But the ground reality in the farming community has been out on the streets almost every quarter of past few years, agitating and demanding reforms. The Prime Minister in his latest address ignored their plight but did not reiterate his ideology to build voter confidence.
The police and the farmers were at loggerheads in the capital only for 2 days. But the farmers have been agitating against the government since the past 4 years. And there are some key demands that are to be met in order to stop India's agrarian descent.
हम सभी मिलकर के भारतीय कृषि और उसका गौरव लौटाएं, भारतीय किसान की आय को बढ़ाने के लिए हम मिलकर के काम करें और इस संकल्प को पूरा करना है कि 2022 हिंदुस्तान के किसान की आय दोगुना करनी है.
India's rural and agriculture economy has also been on the downside in the past 4 years. The number of farmer suicides hasn't dropped since UPA's time, and the government is still working on Prime Minister's promise of doubling farmers' income by 2020. The budget in 2018 focused on the rural economy, but the recent data on rural wage growth depicts a slow trend. Farmers of the country are leaving no stone unturned for their dissenting voices to be heard. The agrarian crisis in the country has seen farmers from across the nation raising slogans of protest in the national capital over the past few months. Less than a month ago, on 5th of September, almost 10,000 farmers and labourers camped in the national capital, demanding better living and working conditions from the government. Farmers from across the country led a mega protest in the national capital. The Mazdoor Kisan Sangharsh rally was organised by various trade unions representing the farmers and led a march from Ramleela Maidan to Parliament Street. The protesting farmers were demanding more jobs, land for the landless, and better prices for their farm produce. In June 2018, farmers from across the country led a 10-day protest demanding the promised minimum support price for their produce. As a mark of protest, supply of vegetables and milk was suspended to nearby cities, and dharnas along 30 major highways were also staged by the dissenting farmers. On 25th of February, around 60 kilometers from Delhi, more than 3,000 farmers gathered in Palwal in Haryana to march to the national capital. The agitating farmers from various states wanted to demand loan waivers and high prices for their crops from the central government, till they were halted by the Haryana police on the outskirts of Delhi. In 2017, on 20th of November, thousands of farmers gathered in Ramlila Maidan with a common demand that has echoed in every farmer protest since then: a one-time complete waiver of farm loan and fair price for their produce. In 2017, a group of farmers from Tamil Nadu grabbed headlines for their bizarre way of agitation in a desperate attempt to catch the government's eye. Stationed at Delhi's Jantar Mantar, they protested with skulls, chains and bones. Farmers from the drought-hit belt of Tamil Nadu demanded loan waivers, drought packages and a Kaveri management committee, among other things like fair prices for crops. This time, before the farmers went back home after storming Delhi, they had a few promises in their kitty to show for their efforts.
प्रधानमंत्री ने हमारे साथ वो करा है कि किसानों के ऊपर अत्याचार करा। किसान एक अन्नदाता है, हर एक के लिए पालता है, किसान खून पसीना बहाता है। इसने हमारी एक नहीं सुनी। किसान प्रधानमंत्री ने हमारे साथ वादा ये करा था कि जब योगी आदित्यनाथ का इलेक्शन था कि किसानों का कर्जा एक एक पाई का माफ करूंगा, कुछ नहीं करा इसने।
मांग तो एक भी नहीं मानी गई। सही तो बात यह है, सबका आश्वासन ही है इस तरह से करेंगे वो करेंगे। चलो खैर, हम तो उन पर भी यकीन कर लेंगे, पर जो खास मांग है, बिजली का मुद्दा है, गन्ने का पेमेंट है, गन्ने का रेट है आगे, तो ये तो सारे जो के तू हैं जिन पर उत्तर प्रदेश के और ये किसान निर्भर है। तो ये तो नुकसान हुई है। अगर सरकार चाहे तो क्या नहीं कर सकती। सरकार तो सब कुछ कर सके, उनके बहुत लंबे हाथ है, सरकार कर सके ऐसी नहीं।
पर उनकी मंशा आपको लग रही है ऐसी?
हाँ, नहीं, मनसा में मैल है, इनकी घोट है मनसा में। मनसा इनकी साफ नहीं है, पर ये 2019 के चुनाव में दिखा देंगे क्या करें।
With the 2019 elections knocking doors of the BJP government, the farm distress can turn the tables on them if not dealt with well in time. But despite the farmers once again taking their grouse to Delhi, the Prime Minister chose to ignore the issue completely in his speeches at Ajmer and Dehradun. Instead, he sought comfort in the ideology that he and his party stands for.
हमारी दिशा सही है, हमारी नीति स्पष्ट है, हमारी नीयत पर कोई शक नहीं कर सकता है।
The Prime Minister on Sunday said India's economy had stabilized over the last few years, that fiscal deficit has come down, inflation was under control and the middle class was rising. He also went on to say that a new India will be the key driver of global development. But all this was said as the country grappled with mounting fuel prices, a stock market in the red, a failing rupee and a manufacturing industry still trying to find its feet. So will the state of the Indian economy be an acid test for the Prime Minister?
उत्तराखंड कैबिनेट के सभी सदस्यगण।
At an investors meeting in Uttarakhand, Prime Minister Modi said India is going through major social and economic changes, and the resultant new India will prove to be a catalyst for global development. However, his catchphrase of Achhe Din wasn't mentioned. In fact, the Prime Minister, it seems, has refrained from bringing up Achhe Din in a while. The Modi government came to power riding on promises of better days in all socio-economic political spheres. Hopes of giving an economic push to the country, but the past 4 years have been a bumpy ride for the BJP-led NDA government. The central government in the past 4 years have introduced a series of structural reforms to boost the Indian economy.
ये काला धन वापस आना चाहिए, ये चोर लुटेरों से एक-एक रुपया वापस लेना चाहिए.
While some reforms created hiccups in the growth trajectory, some, like the draconian demonetization, put the economy in shock therapy.
आज मध्यरात्रि यानी 8 नवंबर 2016 की रात्रि को 12 बजे से वर्तमान में जारी 500 रुपए और 1000 रुपए के करेंसी नोट लीगल टेंडर नहीं रहेंगे.
On November 8th, 2016, in a surprise address to the nation, the Prime Minister decided to pull back 86% of India's currency in circulation.
मैंने देश के सामने पहले ही दिन कहा था, ये काम बहुत बड़ा है, समय लेने वाला काम है, तकलीफ उठानी पड़ेगी ऐसा काम है, कुछ असुविधा होगी ये भी मैंने कहा था, लेकिन मैं हैरान हूं, मेरे देशवासी तकलीफ झेलने के बाद भी इस काम की सफलता के लिए कष्ट उठा रहे हैं.
What followed was pandemonium. The banking system was unprepared for the sea of public waiting to exchange old currency notes. The cash crunch left businesses short of capital to run their operations and to disburse salaries of daily wagers. India's GDP took a hit in the attempt to wipe out black money.
Best brains of the country, उन्होंने लगातार इस काम को किया है और उसी का परिणाम है कि आज ये जीएसटी को हम साकार रूप में देख सकते हैं.
Then, just as the effects of demonetization were cooling off, the government introduced the goods and services tax. The poor implementation left the public confused and provided another jolt for the Indian economy. The World Bank, in a report, said that India's economic momentum has been affected by disruptions from the withdrawal of banknotes and uncertainties around GST. The GDP growth stooped to 5.7%, the lowest in 3 years at that time. However, the GST doesn't include petroleum products, and taxes like VAT and excise duty still apply to them. The Modi government has enjoyed economic tailwinds for almost 3 years of its reign. Global oil prices were low, the monsoon in the country was favorable, and Indian currency was stable. But now, as the oil prices are bouncing back in the global market, Indian fuel prices are set to trouble the common man as taxes are still levied on them.
This will be a reform and recap package and not just a recap package, so as to ensure that this money is used to strengthen public sector bank balance sheets and that we don't sow the seeds of the next boom and bust cycle of lending.
In a series of its structural reforms, the Modi government has also taken steps to clean up the banking sector's defaulting balance sheets by announcing a 2.11 trillion bank recapitalization plan. Rising NPAs or bad loans have become a headache for India's banking sector, and the evading defaulters continue to create headlines in the country. Despite an increase in FDI inflows since Modi took charge, domestic private investment has failed to pick up, and government spending seems to be the sole driving force for the economy. On the jobs front, the data has been disappointing. The Labour Bureau's 7th quarterly employment survey showed that in July-September 2017, job creation stood at 1,36,000. This was an increase over the 64,000 recorded in April-June 2017 and the meager 32,000 in July-September 2016. Now, with the rupee falling to its lowest point and the fiscal deficit widening, will the state of economy be one of the decisive pegs for the general elections of 2019? That is Narendra Modi's acid test.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.